It's a cold, fog-bound Wednesday evening in southeast London. The day's fading light mixes with thick smog, and the rails gleam damp under the station lamps. Commuters in greatcoats wait quietly, watching taillights vanish into grey. London's southern lines are heaving trains, backed up, signals tight. And every few minutes another set of doors thuds shut and slips into the mist. People are tired and thinking of home, dinner, a warm room, the wireless. Nobody expects more than the usual winter delays. But tonight, every tiny decision, every sighting of a signal, every break, application really matters. From the south, a steam-hauled express for Charing Cross pushes on through the murk. The engine works hard. Its headlamp drills a narrow tunnel of light, steam drifting sideways across the footplate windows. Inside the coaches, people read evening papers and watch fog bead on the glass. The driver knows this route well, but visibility is poor and signal sighting distances are short. He must read the line by feel mileposts, gantries, curves he knows by habit. The timetable is tight, and on a busy rush-hour railway, momentum is everything. Ease off too much, and you block the line. Ease off too little, and you leave yourself too little room. Ahead, near St. John's, a haze-bound electric commuter train has drawn up at a home signal protecting the junction under Parks Bridge. The red aspect holds it there. In the rear coach, a small red tail light glows through the fog like an ember. The signalman is cautious in the conditions and needs to be certain what is where. The system is doing what it should. One train in a section, the next held back. The suburban sits, waiting for the road to clear. On this line, you can read the railway like a sentence distant home, and starter signals giving you the grammar of the next mile. But tonight, the sentence is blurred. A caution shows through the haze. Then the next signal comes up fast, its meaning hard to judge until the last second. Drivers lean forward, wipers ticking, eyes straining for color and position. In good visibility, you plan every brake application. In fog, you must decide sooner, with less to go on. The margin for error shrinks 2 seconds. The express runs in faster than it should for the conditions. Perhaps the driver expects the road to clear. Perhaps the fog hides a crucial sightline until it's almost upon him. He makes his brake application, but the red tail light ahead swells in the beam at a speed that tells its own story. The wheels bite, steam flares, but the distance falls away too quickly. Between two breaths, the driver understands. The train in front is not moving. At about 6:20 p.m., the express slams into the rear of the stationary electric. The buffers meet first, then wood and steel splinter with a heavy, grinding crack. The leading engine lifts and dives, tearing into the last suburban coach. Lights go out. Smoke, steam, and dust instantly cloud the air. Inside, people are thrown from seats. Luggage rain down from racks. In the sudden dark, some call out for family by name. Others fumble for the nearest window latch or door handle. Anything that promises a way out. The last coaches of the suburban train are badly smashed. Windows are gone, frames twisted, partitions caved in. A few people manage to clamber out. Others are trapped by bent metal and jammed doors. Along the ballast, scattered bags and newspapers lie soaked in fog and steam. Railwaymen and local residents begin to arrive with lamps and hand tools. They do what people always do at such moments. Summer for coats, help lift debris, call out into pockets of silence, and listen for any reply. The violence of the impact shoves wreckage sideways into the brickwork of the bridge over St. John's Road. A pier is struck. Masonry cracks. The structure is now wounded, still upright, but no longer sure of itself. Down below, men weigh their choices. They need to reach the injured. They also know the bridge is unsafe. The fog makes the broken arch loom and vanish, a dangerous shape half hidden in grey. Part of the bridge gives way. A heavy section shears and drops onto the coaches beneath, burying timbers and seats under a slab of rubble and twisted steel. Dust rolls out across the cutting and hangs in the cold air like smoke. 2 coaches are crushed. For a moment, there is only the dull thud of falling stone and the hiss of steam. Then the shouting starts again. Signals to cut this way, lift that way, pass the stretcher through here. On the upper line, a suburban set approaches the broken span and manages to stop just short of the gap. The driver leans out into the fog and sees daylight where structure should be. He sets protection, warns the signalman, and keeps his passengers calm. That halt prevents a second disaster, another fall of bridgework. More weight onto the wreckage below. On a bad night, one good stop matters. Rescue becomes an all-night effort. Firefighters, police, railway staff, ambulance crews, and local volunteers work together in the freezing damp, cutting away steel, levering timber, and carrying the injured out on stretchers. Floodlights turn the fog into a pale wall. Sparks from oxyacetylene cutters make brief constellations. Progress is slow but steady. Teams rotate to keep warm. Tea appears from somewhere, as it always does, passed from hand to hand. Every time they free someone alive, the whole line of workers lifts. Ambulances shuttled to nearby hospitals. Churches and halls open as aid centers, offering blankets, hot drinks, quiet places to wait for news. Names are taken carefully. Belongings are gathered and labeled. Police move along the platform asking for witnesses, piecing together events even as the rescue continues. By dawn, the scale is clearer. 90 lives have been lost and many more injured. Families begin to arrive, moving from list to list, clinging to small details, description, coat, color, a hat, or anything that can help. In the weeks that follow, investigators examine diagrams, signal charts, driver's route knowledge, and the exact sequence of aspects shown in fog. Their conclusion is stark. The express passed a signal at danger and braked too late to avoid the rear of the suburban train. The conditions were dreadful, but the rules were clear. One recommendation stands out. Had the automatic warning system been fitted and operative here, an audible in-cab alarm and enforced brake application would likely have prevented the disaster. The inquiry's words give new urgency. Cranes come to the scene, slow giants on rails. They lift the crushed coaches onto flats and swing them away like damaged toys. Ballast is shoveled, rails are relayed. The broken span is rebuilt brick by brick. The relief of getting trains moving again mixes with a quieter feeling. The recognition that going back to normal isn't really possible for those who were here. For weeks afterwards, drivers pass the spot more gently. People on platforms glance up at the bridge and then quickly away. Memory sits in the corner of the eye. Today, a memorial plaque at Lewisham marks the date, the 4th of December, 1957. The names are remembered each year. The plaque is simple, but it carries a promise. Lessons learned will be kept. Over time, automatic warning system fitment accelerates. It becomes as ordinary as a whistle or a brake handle, doing its job. And that is the legacy of Lewisham. A safer railway born out of loss. And a reminder that the everyday act of getting people home depends on vigilance, good engineering, and systems that catch us when human sight, in fog or fatigue, falls short. Please look out for our next true story of discovering disasters. May I thank you for your time.